Entry Sunday night. Waited all week for a good day to start. Never came. Waited for motivation, for inspiration, for the right moment, and still waiting. You have been told to wait until you feel ready. Here is the problem. Readiness is a feeling, and feelings are unreliable hardware. You do not feel your way into starting. You start your way into feeling. 3 rules. No readiness required. Rule 1, right now. Research shows that waiting for motivation before starting a task actually reduces the likelihood of starting permanently. Motivation follows action, not the other way around. The system does not require you to feel ready. Here is how. Rule 1, the identity vote. Every time you wait to feel ready, you cast a vote for the identity of someone who waits. Every time you start without feeling ready, you cast a vote for the identity of someone who shows up. Research on identity-based habits show that behavior change is not about outcomes. It is about who you are proving yourself to be with each action. Each action is a vote for the type of person you want to become. You do not need to feel like a disciplined person before you act. You act and the feelings follows the evidence. You're not lying to yourself. You are voting for who you are becoming. Tonight, before you sit down, say this out loud. I am someone who shows up even when I do not feel ready. Then open the document, start the task. The vote is cast the moment you start, not when you finish. 1 vote, tonight, that is the rule. But what if the task itself feels too big to even begin? Here is the bypass. Rule 2, the minimum viable start. Every system that has ever failed you started too big. The 30-minute workout, the 2-hour deep work session, the full chapter of reading. Your brain does not resist work. It resists the size of what you are asking it to do. Research on activation energy shows that energy required to begin a task is always higher than the energy required to continue it. So you do not need to lower the goal. You lower the start. The minimum viable start is the smallest possible version of beginning. Not the workout, but putting on your shoes. Not the whole video script, but opening up the document and writing 1 sentence. It's not about doing the full edit, but only hitting play on the first clip. You are not lowering your standards. You are removing the activation energy that was stopping you from having any standards at all. The goal stays the same. The start gets smaller. The result is your actual start. Right now, identify your most avoided task. Write down the smallest possible version of starting it. Not the task, the first physical action that begins the task. That is your minimum viable start. Tonight, do only 1 action. 30 seconds. You will almost certainly keep going, but even if you do not, you voted. But here is the trap that nobody warns you about. The one that kills progress after you have already started. Rule 3, the 70% rule. You started, you built momentum, then you hit a wall. The session was not perfect. The output was not as good as you imagined it. So you stop and you wait again for a better day, for the right feeling. This is perfectionism wearing the costume of standards, and it is one of the most expensive traps in the system. Research on perfectionism shows it is the single strongest predictor of creative stalling. Perfectionism is not a high standard. It is fear with a better excuse. The 70% rule says this: if it is 70% of where you want it to be, it ships. The last 30% is polish. Nobody outside your head notices it. But the next version you make will be better than this one because you shipped this one and you got the data. Engineers do not wait for perfect. They build, test, and iterate. The prototype that ships teaches you more than the perfect version that never leaves your head. Done at 70% beats perfect, never finished every single time. Action. Look at the task you have been sitting on. Ask yourself, is this 70% of where I want it to be? If yes, it ships tonight. Post it, send it, upload it. Right at the bottom of your notes, shipped at 70%. Next version will be better. That is the rule. Progress over perfection every time. Entry 2 years ago, still waiting to feel ready. Same goals, same frozen screen. Tomorrow I will start. Tomorrow I will be better. I waited for 2 years, not because I lacked ambition, because I believed that readiness was a feeling I had to find before I could start. Readiness is not a feeling you find, it is a feeling you build by starting. I went from academic suspension to an honors degree in mechanical engineering. Not because I finally felt ready, not because the right moment appeared, because I learned that readiness is not a feeling you find, it is a feeling you build by starting. Same brain, same schedule, different understanding of how starting actually works. I work 7 to 3 retail. I built every one of these rules in the gap between clocking out and burning out. Not from a desk, not from a home office, from the exact conditions you are in right now. Let's recap. Rule 1, the identity vote. Every time you start without feeling ready, you vote for who you are becoming. Rule 2, the minimum viable start. Lower the start, not the goal. Remove the activation energy and begin. Rule 3, the 70% rule. If it is 70%, it ships. Done beats perfect every time. You will never feel ready. Start anyway. The feelings follow the action. The starter kit in the description below has many useful templates that I've used. Feel free to check it out. Tonight, one identity vote. So your action tonight is one identity vote, one minimum viable start. Do not wait for the feeling. Start. The feelings will follow. If you are smart enough to know what you should be doing and you still cannot make yourself do it after a long day, subscribe. 3 videos a week. Execution system that works when the motivation is dead. No fluff. Stop waiting for ready and see you in the next one. If your brain is running at 10% by the time you sit down and even your minimum viable start feels impossible, I have the system for that too. It is right here. Watch this next video.